Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the lightsaber combat changes that arrived in the newest update, together with some bug fixes that also improved the lightsaber combat vastly. So this is something that people have been, requesting for a very long time, that the stagger would be removed when you're blocking a lightsaber. Something that made the fights feel very clunky, and they didn't look particularly cinematic when you basically bounce off each other every time you hit, especially after that initial, I think it was Battlefront 2 reveal trailer or something, where you can see Luke and Vader kind of going at each other on like a bridge on the Death Star. And yeah, that's not how it looked until today, when you actually can do those kind of fights where you won't just bounce off. With that, they of course also completely revamped like the stamina and how much stamina each of the different heroes have, the fact that you can't attack when you run out of stamina. And similarly, I've already covered those changes in depth in another video, so here I basically wanted to give you my impressions on it after playing with it in Heroes vs Villains and Hero Showdown. And if you've watched my streams and videos, you know I'm not a huge fan of the lightsaber combat or hero combat overall, or I love playing heroes against infantry, but as soon as you start involving lightsabers on lightsabers or stuns, I really don't like it. But it has gotten so much better with this patch, plus the stun nerfs that they did 1 or 2 patches ago. So a few months ago I really didn't want to play Heroes vs Villains at all. And right now I actually think it's pretty fun. I still prefer Hero Showdown, to be honest, because it's more controlled, it's not as chaotic, and no matter how good they make that lightsaber combat, 4 vs 4 clashing together will always be chaotic and sometimes frustrating depending on which situations you end up in. Other than the actual stamina changes and the stagger changes, there's also one other big bug fix, which is the fact that when you knock someone down, you can no longer block or shoot when you're knocked. This means that when you do successfully land a force ability, or any ability that knocks you down, it's actually worth something, because you can usually follow up with at least one lightsaber hit. And this is something that made the fights previously feel pointless. If you have a lightsaber battle, first of all, as soon as you hit someone, you can just bounce off. Secondly, when you run out of stamina, you could still attack, which meant it was kind of pointless. And thirdly, when you did land those abilities, it was completely pointless, because you might have done 50 or 100 damage, but they could instantly block after, which means they will regenerate the health that you just caused, unless you push them off the side or something like that. But in the background right now, you can see a really fun fight I had with the Grievous versus Rey, where it really shows the new lightsaber combat, the way the stamina works, and most importantly the fact that these knockdowns we got on each other actually felt like they were worth something, as you could follow up with an attack instead of getting instantly blocked. I think one of my main gripes right now, to be honest, with this is the fact that stamina is now very important to keep track of, and the current stamina bar is so small that I never really keep track of it. I never see it until it's too late, until I notice, oh shit, I can't attack, oh wait, then I look at my stamina bar and realize that I'm completely out of stamina. I personally preferred the previous one. People complained that it was intrusive in the middle of the screen, and yeah, I thought that was good, because that meant you always saw it, and as soon as you were about to run out of stamina, you knew that. Now I kind of get caught on surprise every time. That's a very personal opinion, and I'm sure some people prefer this new stamina bar that they added a couple of months ago, but I would really like them to make a better stamina bar, maybe some type of audio indicator that will indicate how much stamina you have left, just so it doesn't just come as a surprise basically. But overall, I actually felt like this was the first time that a 1 vs 1 lightsaber mode would actually make sense, because now it's fair. There's good things to counter with, unless you're playing with Anakin. He's still a bit too broken in Heroes vs Villains, but he has been confirmed that he will be getting nerfs. But other than him, it feels really good. We had some really good fights with the lightsaber wielders, and we tried to get some one-on-ones in there. And again, the Grievous and Rey fight was probably my favorite, but I had some good fights on Kashyyyk as well that showed the new lightsaber combat in action. In terms of tips and tricks, I really don't have any, simply because, like I said, I'm not the best person with a lightsaber, and I'm not actually sure the best way to go about this new system, because I don't feel like there's a very clear, this is how you should play. What I just try to do is basically time my abilities so that I can hit them when they've just dodged or when they jump, and make sure that you actually get that knockdown and then instantly follow that up with a slash. That's what I felt was the most important. But also, if you do see them slashing a lot, blocking a lot, on doing overall that kind of stuff, you can keep in mind that, okay, their stamina is pretty low right now, so I should really attack them and wear down their stamina until it runs out, at which point you'll start hitting them, and a lot of times they don't have time to react before you've hit 2 or 3 times. So I think that's something to keep in mind. But other than that, I think there's a lot of better people out there to talk about how to best master lightsaber combat, and since I mostly stick to Capital Supremacy or Galactic Assault, I'm probably never going to reach those high levels of lightsaber skills, if you know what I mean. And I still do prefer myself a good old blaster. Right now I'm mostly playing with lightsabers just to practice and see how the new system is, but other than that, I'd much rather play with Bosk, Han, Iden, Lando, or someone who has a blaster, just because I don't know, I'm better with that, and it's easier to actually make use of your aim, as it's more about being able to aim well and time your abilities as compared with a lightsaber. It's more about comboing your abilities and hits. So it's 2 very different playstyles, but I'm very glad that they have catered to the lightsaber players now by making the system a lot better. So I'm really curious to hear what you guys think in the comments below about the system, what's good, what's bad, and what can they still do to improve it. I know one thing people have requested that I agree on, which is the lightsaber blocking animations. Previously, it hasn't really looked that weird because you hit once and then you bounce off, but now when you slash onto someone multiple times and you don't stagger back, it looks kind of dull when you're just holding your lightsaber still. So some blocking animations would definitely look very nice. As for in Galactic Assault and when you're facing off against troopers, I feel like the main thing I see people doing wrong now is that they don't realize how fast your stamina can go down, and the fact that you're screwed when you don't have any stamina because you can either block or attack. Take Grievous for instance. If you hit him with like 5 blaster bolts, he runs out of stamina, so you really should not be pushing into a corridor with your lightsabers up, because if an ARC trooper shoots at you, your stamina is gone in literally half a second. So if you're playing Grievous, like for instance on the interiors, try to just engage with either your Unrelenting Advance or Claw Rush, or Thrust Surge for that matter. Don't use your blocking unless it's absolutely necessary, because it affects both your defense and offense, since you obviously can't be offensive without any stamina. So there's a lot of things like that to keep in mind, and I'm excited to see more clips being sent in of really cool lightsaber battles and things that people might be able to pull off now with the new system. But I think that's really all my thoughts on the lightsaber combat right now. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.